I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
This fucking bastard.
Counting this all there?
Oh, no, you go ahead, count it.
Yeah, come on. No bullshit. Prince.
You don't fucking touch me, scumbag.
Smack blood and skull fragments out your face. Clap stubs at your mother's casket, walking out of a wake. Bang! Young Pesci, fucker, come test me. Fake your suicide the same way they hung Epstein.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Nico K-Land. I'm back with another episode of Malice in Wonderland, and joining me is my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only, my homie, Mr. Pablo Escobars. How you doing today, Pablo? You just got out the gym, huh?
Yeah, I feel like $1,000,000. You know, I'm ready, excited for Kush and Conspiracy. And 8 days sober, man. Let's do this.
Oh, 8 days sober off what? Let these people know what you're 8 days sober off so they don't think you're out here taking no fucking junk or nothing.
Nah, no smoking, no weed no more, dog. You're gonna give that a rest. I gotta wait till the baby comes.
Yeah. So it ain't sober off no heroin or none of that fucking fentanyl or nothing. It's just the good old ganj because we got some babies coming. But anyway, besides for new babies, we got news coming. We got some good news stories. We got the best medicine for you guys. We have a awesome Kush and Conspiracy where we're gonna play a little documentary I got about Bill Gates, and we're gonna find out a little bit more about that fucking psychopath. And then we're gonna go into our 48 Laws of Power series for Law 2, which is never put too much trust in your friends, learn how to use your enemies. We're going to try to take some life lessons from that. And at the end, we're going to leave you with a little tidbit that we're going to be doing at the end of every show, and it's called Wise Words. So the wise words are going to just be from different people, motivational things at the end of the show to leave you off with, because I know we deal with a lot of depressing and dark topics, just like we're going to be doing right now when we get into this this news. How you feeling about it, dog? Is there anything you've seen this week that piqued your interest?
Well, I mean, the past week I feel like we were right about the earthquake in New York. Thank God it wasn't nothing so crazy. The eclipse wasn't that big of a deal. But, you know, that's what we're here for, just in case. We're just running scenarios through you guys and trying to have you guys be prepared.
Yeah, hey, there was a lot of weird shit going on. So it's like, yo, I feel like they do that shit to, like, trauma fuck us. Like, they're like, yo, let's set up this, let's set up that, you know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna have these motherfuckers so paranoid and scared. Because how many people was scared to death for like 2 weeks, bro, waiting on that? But yeah, listen, we're gonna get into this news. So we got right here.
It's higher than it was.
So this is about the inflation right now. The inflation's going crazy, right? So
inflation's at 3.2%. It's higher than it was in January. Are there any concerns that the disinflation we saw last year is starting to stall out?
So look, I'm gonna say that this is a president that is doing everything that we can to fight inflation, right? To build an economy from the bottom up, middle out, and we've been pretty consistent about that. And over,
I know you love this chick,
past
Pablo.
Several months, is that inflation is down 2/3, and core inflation is at the lowest since May of 2021. That matters. Wages are rising faster than prices over the last year. Since the pandemic, we've seen 15 million jobs created because of the policies that this president has put forward. Some really historic, bipartisan even legislation that's come into law that helped create.
Yeah, so we're gonna let her stop spewing shit out of her mouth. Like, we don't go to the grocery store. Like, we don't put gas in our fucking tanks.
She's doing the Obama fist.
Yeah, like that. Look at my fist.
That only works for him.
That's for the slow people. That's for the slow people to keep them like entertained. It's like a TikTok video. You know what I'm saying? Where you gotta have all the bells and whistles on the TikTok video to keep people like in on it. But yeah, man. So that's crazy. We got some more U.S. news. So there was a school shooting, and they charged the parents because they bought a gun that the son used for the school shooting, and it's like, I feel like that sets a real dangerous precedent with law. It's like with people being charged for other people's...
We have a dangerous president right now. Boom.
Exactly.
For the first time,
but
the
here
parents of
we
an
go.
American school shooter have been sent to prison for the crime their child committed. A judge in Michigan has ordered Jennifer and James Crumbley serve at least 10 years each. Their teenage son is already serving life.
2.5 years after their teenage son became a killer, a Michigan court forces James and Jennifer Crumbley to take responsibility.
My husband and I used to say we had the perfect kid.
In November 2021, Ethan Crumbley pulled a 9mm pistol from his school bag, shot dead 4 fellow students and wounded 7 others. At the same time, his parents vanished. They'd later be arrested. As it emerged, James Crumbley had bought his son the pistol just days earlier. Both he and mother Jennifer had been called to school on the morning of the shooting to be shown their son's macabre drawings of a gun and a bullet-ridden body. They refused school requests to take him home.
I am sorry for your loss as a result of what my son did.
It is the sentence of this court that you serve 10 to 15 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections.
The court also hearing from victims' loved ones.
You caused the most cruel thing I could ever imagine. You guys made love.
So pretty much, yeah, they're getting sent to prison for their son's actions. I mean, this is one of those things where it sounds good, but there's a lot of potential for abuse and case law, and like with this precedent.
Look, I just want to say, first of all, condolences to the family. You know, that sucks, and it's
all 4 of those families, condolences, hearts out, sympathy, all that, but the people being charged and sentenced, it's a real scary thing, because now we can basically what that precedent set was, like, anything you buy somebody that person then uses for anything that may be considered a crime, you are then liable for that crime and can be charged.
Look, to be fair, I see how, like, honestly, bro, they all look shady as hell. Like, the parents look kind of weird. Like, they don't look like they're too involved with their kid. The kid's a weirdo, obviously, you know what I mean? But, like, these listen, I think, like you're saying, it's very dangerous, because now this is going to be the example.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they want to do this again.
But that's why they find a case like this where it's so appalling that it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And everybody gets on the side of doing it.
Like Michigan, I feel like that was on purpose.
Yeah, Gretchen Whitmer, the fucking...
That's not predominantly pushing... well, I'm not even sure what side that state leans on. But when I think Michigan, I think majority of people who don't know anything about politics are going to think Michigan, white people, white state. And I think that this cannot go unsaid that I don't think this is going to be the case with blacks, Spanish, Asians. I don't think this is going to be the same case. I think this is going to be something thrown at white people left and right. And I think this keeps happening.
I don't think necessarily just white people. I just think anybody on the wrong political side. I don't think it's necessarily going to be white people. I think it's going to be weaponized. Like, for example, say your daughter grows up in 15 years, you buy your daughter a phone, your daughter gets politically active, very politically active, and goes to some protest and posts videos from the protest, and then like those videos are considered illegal, and so then you go to jail because you bought the phone that do you see how down the line that could really become weaponized to really fucking...
Bought my kid a car, they were drunk, they crashed somebody, killed somebody, I go to jail too because I bought them a car. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's going to be used and abused against the people. It sounds good.
But this was definitely a very specific situation just because the parents bought the gun right before that happened.
Yeah.
Like I say, they seem shady, I'm not sure.
But they use those very specific and those really fucked up situations where it kind of makes sense to like pigeonhole and force a fucking law in there that normally people, if you just wrote it on paper and said, hey, and said it like this to people, hey, if you buy your daughter a car and she goes and kills somebody with it, you're going to go to jail. Everybody would say, fuck no. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So they have to find examples like this. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to some shit with World War III coming, prophecies, shit like that. We got,
You kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do. How? Does Bureau practice entrapment a lot? Yeah, we get really close. We call it a nudge.
So here we go. This video does not have any audio, but we can read. So essentially,
it's fine because it's it across.
Yeah. So essentially, the Palestinians and all these people, they're really up in arms about what's going on. Eid just started today. The Muslims are not being allowed into the Al-Aqsa Mosque to pray. It's really devolving into a crazy fucking situation with protests all over the Muslim world, because I feel like they have a feeling that they know something.
What's coming?
They know something. Yeah, exactly. Something's coming. They know it. They feel it, and it's unprecedented, really, the times that we're in, because we're gonna play another video of protesting, and like on the main news, like they. And by the way, that video I couldn't play audio because it would be audio that would be demonetized from our channel, and we need all the help we can get. But so they know that the red heifer is going to be sacrificed and the third temple is going to be built soon. But they know in order for the third temple to be built, Al-Aqsa Mosque has to be destroyed. And that is going to be a crazy, crazy thing in the Muslim world and in the Middle East and in the world in general, because the ripple effects that through the whole entire earth, both like politically, spiritually, economically, it's just going to be one of the craziest things we've ever seen in our time. And I honestly hope we survive through it, because I see crazy shit kicking off, right? And this is why we're going to play this little video. Dog, what do you know about the red heifers and stuff?
I mean, I know a lot of people have covered it. Even South Park has an episode on it. You know, it's obviously going to be a little funnier and all that stuff. But this is a very serious situation. It's a hard topic to tackle.
Yeah,
what I do think is that if the Muslims decide to right, I mean, listen, bro, they have every right. This is a very important thing to them. You know what I mean? This is like this is a very this is hard to talk about.
Yeah, well, we're gonna it's hard to talk about, so I got a video to play.
Imagine a sacred site at the center of a global conflict, and a mysterious ritual called the Red Heifer Sacrifice could ignite a firestorm. Right-wing Israeli groups believe sacrificing a red heifer fulfills a prophecy, paving the way for a third temple on the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount is also the location of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third holiest site in Islam. In their effort to rebuild the temple, devoted believers refer to the Book of Numbers, chapter 19. The sacrifice is planned to take place as early as April 2024. It is believed that the ritual is necessary to purify the Jews so that they can pray at the Al-Aqsa compound. In September 2022, 5 red heifers were flown from the state of Texas into the occupied lands, each costing a staggering $100,000. To better understand what this ritual is, we must look at what is stated in the Book of Numbers, chapter 19.
And the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord has commanded, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they bring you a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came yoke. And you shall give her to Eleazar the priest, that he may bring her forth without the camp, and one shall slay her before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times, and one shall burn the heifer in his sight. Her skin and her flesh and her blood with her dung shall he burn. And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet, and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer.
The red heifer is a female bovine which has never been pregnant or milked or yoked, also known as the red cow. The cow must be completely red, including its hooves, and must be around 3 years old at the time of sacrifice. Following the sacrifice, the ashes of the cow are due to be mixed with water and used to purify selected Jewish priests. This wouldn't be the first red heifer sacrifice. According to Jewish tradition, only 9 have occurred throughout history, the last one right before the Romans destroyed the Second Temple. However, some rabbis believe sacrificing a 10th red heifer heralds the arrival of the Dajjal, a false messiah figure in Islam. The Temple Institute is actively preparing for this event.
The
They believe
Dajjal
red
is the
heifer
Antichrist.
sacrifice will lead to an attack on the Al-Aqsa Mosque, paving the way for a Temple of Dajjal to be built on its ruins. This apocalyptic vision fuels tensions and raises serious concerns about the future of Jerusalem.
So yeah, man, like it's getting real fucking sketchy over there, bro. Real sketchy, man. It's a bad time to be in.
That's gonna be sketchy over here too.
Yeah,
It's gonna be everywhere.
It's gonna be everywhere, but especially over in the Middle East, I really feel sorry for, especially what the Palestinians are going through right now. It's fucking disgusting. That's all I have to say about that. We're gonna get on to our last little piece of news we got, and that's about, so a CIA agent got caught on hidden camera with O'Keefe Media. Yeah, and he was...
real quick. I just want to be clear. I know you're saying something, but we don't really take a side on this war. It's just nobody should really be going through what any of them are going through right now, and it seems Palestinians are getting pretty bad.
I do take a side. I take a side with the people who are being slaughtered. That's who I take a side with. The people who are defenseless at this point and just being bombed into fucking oblivion, because like the videos I see on, because I'm on some combat footage, like telegrams and stuff, and the things I see are just fucking disgusting, bro. Like I wish we could play a compilation video that I saw for people on this, but it would just get our channel shut down and shit, because it's a lot of dead kids and like Israeli soldiers like putting dead babies and shit like that. Like, it's what they're doing over there to people is really fucking disgusting, and there's no excuse for it. And I don't agree with it. But we're gonna get into this Alex Jones clip. Well, it's not Alex Jones, it's a CIA agent who is caught on hidden camera talking about Alex Jones, and Alex Jones in turn is now going to sue the CIA because of this clip. Now let's check it out.
You can kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do.
How? Does the Bureau practice entrapment a lot?
We get really close. We call it a nudge.
A nudge.
A nudge. Sometimes you just gotta give them a quick little, just to see what happens. Sometimes you light the fuse and just wait for it to follow. Nothing like putting out a fake social media thing to like really get people mad.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, so we were after him.
You are?
We did what we wanted.
Which was what?
Took his money away, chopped his legs off.
Gavin O'Blennis is a contracting officer at the CIA. O'Blennis worked for the FBI in 2021 and 2022 in the San Diego office, moved on to Homeland Security where...
Yeah, so here we go. We got another fucking undercover, closeted, gay CIA agent meeting some guy off Grindr that turns out to be a James O'Keefe plant. This just keeps happening to these motherfuckers, bro. This is like the third time they got one of these guys off like a Grindr date. That's fucking crazy.
Brag, bro. They have to brag.
That's fucking
He
crazy.
ain't got no game. He's got to brag about what he does for work. It's ridiculous.
Hey, but that wraps it up for the news of the week. Now we're gonna get into the best medicine. What up, y'all? Welcome to this week's The Best Medicine. You ready for this, Doug? You ready to have some laughs? We just talked about some deep shit during the news. I got a little depressed. I felt my heart sink a little bit talking about the Palestinians and whatnot. You ready for some funny shit?
Yeah. Lighten up the mood. Let's
go. So this first one I got, this is great.
This is my wife right here. See what I'm saying? This is what I do. That's what I like. He came in here want to act like he was all hard and manly. You come in here acting hard, we gonna see how hard you is.
Oh god
Hey.
damn, bro. Yo, that's one of my favorites, bro. Here we go.
Okay. No photos, baby. You gotta pay for that. Elefante Davis, University of Alabama, Roll Tide Roll.
I like that.
You know that's actually they're trained to do that.
Huh? What happened?
You know that they're actually trained. They train the elephants to do that, so you don't sneak pictures because you gotta pay for pictures.
Oh shit!
So
damn,
that's what she
dog.
gets.
Damn, son, I didn't know that. I gotta remember that if I ever go to India or somewhere like that. But here we go. Here we go. This one's great. This one, you seen this one?
No.
Oh damn! Just wait.
Yo, damn, I got
I know
a
Lil
big
Bill.
ass head. Ugh, Grandma, why the fuck you keep walking around here farting? Actually, farting. Ugh, you fart like that again, we got to put you in a nursing home.
Oh, stop it.
Shit, bitch, I ain't playing. I'll go change your diaper. Okay. God damn it, Grandma. Damn, her old ass always.
Yo, I love when people take the most innocent shows and make fucked up clips out of them, bro. It gets me every time, dog. Alright, so next. Yo, I gotta see it again.
I'm so mad about that.
Yo, you know what reminds me of? That reminds me of? Have you ever seen the chair that makes you gay video?
No.
Where the dude gets hit with the chair that makes you gay, and he's like,
No, you're gonna have to put that on one of the next episodes.
the
I've
next
never seen that.
episode, Doc. Yo, it has the tagline up at the top. It's like, it says, what happens when you get hit by a chair that makes you gay? And then, yo, some fight must have been going on, and there's these two dudes standing next to each other in a bar. And a fucking chair comes out of nowhere and cracks one dude in the fucking head. And he just leans on his boy and he's like, oh. But the way he's like trying to get him and like hold on to him is like, looks super gay and shit. Like, yo, I was dying, bro. But all right, let's get into the next one. Let's get
I'm
into the
drinking
next
like
one.
Monster Energy drinks sometimes, which are like piss magnets.
So I got a couple. I'm gonna bring this back. I got a couple Theo Von clips today because I love Theo Von.
I love Theo.
He always makes
Shout out
me
to
laugh.
Theo Von, bro.
Drinking like Monster Energy drinks sometimes, which are like piss magnets. They're delicious, but they make you want to pee.
Make you want to beat your wife too, dude. I've seen a lot of dudes drinking Monster that you know they're going home to punch.
I gotta bring that back.
Yeah, Theo's fucking.
I gotta bring that
like
back.
Monster
again.
Energy drinks sometimes, which are
Oh,
like piss
God.
magnets. They're delicious, but they make you want to pee.
Make you want to beat your wife too, dude. I've seen a lot of dudes drinking Monster that you know they're going home to punch.
Yo, they're going home to punch. But yo, I found a clip of our pops, bro. Both of our dads, when our dads was back working together in the late 80s. Yeah, yo, y'all don't know this, but me and Pablo, we've been around each other since youngins. I actually got a clip of our fathers. This ain't, I mean, it might be a little funny to some of y'all, but this is more the best medicine. It's like feel good, so y'all can be introduced to who our pops are a little closer. So there you go. That's our pops. I just wanted to put that out there. I just wanted everybody to see. You know what I'm saying? I think it brings everybody closer.
How many grams of coke? Huh? How many grams of coke, huh?
every gram of coke that was every gram of coke that they could find. All right, here we go. We're going into another Theo clip.
Yeah, maybe a couple roses on the table for the ladies.
Yeah.
A little bit of champagne.
The champagne.
Yeah.
The scotch.
Yeah, a little scotch. Damn, okay. Dang, bro. If I have too much scotch, I'll have Down syndrome, bro.
Yo, that's why I love Theo. He ain't got no qualms. He ain't scared of nobody.
Oh, hold on. We got another one. We got a little a baby I found right here.
The next episode by Dr. Dre on Amazon Music.
He was born for this shit, dog. Put it in his blood. Ready? Wait till the beat drops, dog. Wait. Yo, that is the dopest baby I've ever seen. But hey, we're gonna get on to our last video.
Yeah.
Huh?
That kid's gonna be a handful.
Yo, dog, for real, bro. He's gonna be in the streets, bro, for real. He's gonna be catching charges and committing crimes. I see it all. Okay, so let's go into this next one.
I'm just saying, black people are getting like weak diseases that used to be only white people would get. It seems like that's something, you know, like
the only black diseases I know is it's going to always stand the test of time is the itis.
Yeah.
You know, I think every black person I've ever went to school with or grew up with all had the itis.
What is it?
The itis is
this way.
It's like autism?
No, itis is
it's like autism. Theo said, like autism? Oh, Lord. So that's what we got for y'all today for the best medicine. Bro, that was a good one. I had a couple great laughs. But now we're going to get into some fucking depressing shit about a real piece of shit named Bill Gates. You ready?
Yeah. This is what this. There you go.
Welcome to Kush and Conspiracy. This week's episode, we're going to be running a little documentary about the fucking piece of shit of all piece of shits, the motherfucking James Bond villain himself of every fucking super evil villain movie you ever seen. He's the main character, Mr. Bill Gates. So what do you know about him, dog, and how do you feel about him? You seen me, I had my... I missed the opportunity to wear my Bill Gates hoodie on this episode that I wore on the other episode. Damn, I don't know why I didn't. But what do you know? How do you feel?
Hey, listen. I know that he has his hands in a lot of things. I know that he tests he does little experiments with populations of certain groups of people. He likes to push a lot of this like one world order thing, but never take credit for it.
Exactly. And we're going to learn a little bit more about all the POTS and viruses and fucking vaccine trials and all kind of crazy shit this motherfucker's had his hands in. So
government juice box.
Yeah, the juice schmucks. So we're going to run this video and feel free, Doug, if there's anything you want to stop, there's anything you want, just let me know. I could stop the vid. You know, it's always great to get our opinions and our thoughts in here during the vid. You know, it kind of expands it and gives our viewers a little insight into our minds. So here we go.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
Just look at how
Gates'
proud.
business strategies came under fire in 1998 when the United States Department of Justice sued Microsoft for antitrust violations.
This is tape 3 of the videotape deposition of Bill Gates on September.
During the 18-month trial, Gates gave hours of videotaped testimony.
What were the non-Microsoft browsers that you were concerned about in January of 1996?
That month.
Yes, sir.
And what about it?
What non-Microsoft browsers were you concerned about in January of 1996?
I don't know what you mean concerned.
What is it about the word concerned that you don't understand?
I'm not sure what you mean by it.
The Justice Department has charged Microsoft with engaging in anti-competitive and exclusionary practices designed to maintain its monopoly and personal computer operating systems.
In a move to overshadow the negative press, Gates invested $100 million to set up.
So, I'm gonna stop it right there and say that right there, I think that moment when that lady hit him with the pie was when he decided, that's it for humanity, dog. I'm done with these motherfuckers and I'm wiping them out. But let's get back into it.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Overnight, Bill Gates transformed his public image from ruthless tech monopolizer to the world's most generous philanthropist.
I'm pleased to announce that we're pledging an additional $1 billion to.
We had the chance to witness Bill Gates 2.0, the man you don't know.
The rebranding campaign paid off. His net worth swiftly doubled, earning Bill Gates the title of richest man in the world.
You've invested $10 billion in vaccinations over the last 2 decades, and you figured out the return on investment for that, and it kind of stunned me. Can you walk us through the math?
In a Wall Street essay, Bill Gates declared vaccines the best investment I've ever made.
There's been over a 20-to-1 return. So if you just look at the economic benefits, that's a pretty strong number compared to anything else.
The Gates Foundation expanded rapidly into a massive, vertically integrated, multinational corporation, controlling every step in a supply chain that reaches from its Seattle-based boardrooms to the villages of Africa and Asia.
Is the world's largest private philanthropy causing harm? The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has made millions of dollars each year from companies blamed for many of the same social and health problems the foundation seeks to address. The Gates Foundation has investments in 69 of the worst polluting companies in the U.S. and Canada. Other companies in the foundation's portfolio have been accused of transgressions, including forcing thousands of people to lose their homes, supporting child labor, defrauding and neglecting patients in need of medical care. The Gates Foundation has not provided details.
William H. Gates III and Melinda French Gates.
As a top donor to both the WHO and the CDC, no one man has more power than Bill Gates to influence and control the health and medical freedom of all people.
Normalcy only returns when we've largely vaccinated the entire global population.
This will be the new normal until a vaccine is developed.
Until we find a vaccine, going back to normal means putting lives at risk.
We need to produce it and to deploy it in every single corner of the world.
Full vaccination of our children and pregnant women.
Development of new vaccines, therapeutics and diagnostics.
Before effective vaccines and therapeutics are developed.
We've already bought the syringes. We already know where it's going to happen. We're thinking about what that's going to be. It's all part of this plan.
Our military is now being mobilized, so at the end of the year, we're going to be able to give it to a lot of people very, very rapidly.
Yeah, see, there's the Vax Daddy right there.
President Ronald Reagan signed the National
made
Childhood
sure they all
Vaccine
got it.
Injury Act, granting total immunity to vaccine manufacturers. After a decade of lawsuits related to vaccine injuries and deaths, vaccine makers were going bankrupt. In a move to coerce policymakers, vaccine companies threatened to stop making vaccines until they could be legally shielded from liability. To this day, when someone is injured or killed as the result of an adverse reaction, it is the U.S. taxpayers that pay for the damages.
Welcome back. Were several Indian tribal girls used as guinea pigs? The report alleges that 2 American pharma giants' untested vaccine was administered to thousands of tribal girls without proper study and paperwork.
India was among the hardest hit after Bollywood celebrities were incentivized by the Gates Foundation to urge the public to submit to mass vaccinations. In 2009, tribal children were administered the Ep.5 vaccine. Over 24,000 girls were told they were being given wellness shots, in many cases without the informed consent of a parent or a guardian.
The people that were administering these vaccines lied to the guardians of these girls and told the girls, oh, this is going to cure cancer, you're never going to have cancer. And these girls became severely injured. Some of them developed seizures, some of them developed cancer. And 7 girls died. And there was no insurance, there was no assistance for them. And the Gates Foundation denied that it had been clinical trials. And it was so bad that the parliament in India created a task force, they studied it, and they kicked out the Gates Foundation.
But India is a barbaric country. Things happen here in a very barbaric way. But I was surprised to find an American organization operating in broad daylight, doing things in a very, very, let's say, Indian fashion. And so the route I took was that I want the whole procedure to be investigated. The Indian Parliament formed a committee, and it was to me a rather surprising move, because you generally don't often have such a high-level inquiry into matters affecting poor people. And that was such an extraordinary report. I don't think Indian Parliament has ever come out with such a scathing report. And the government officials came up and said, we shouldn't have authorized this. We're sorry. We're not going to allow them again. And now they're back doing their same old tricks again.
The good news is that human clinical trials can start as early as July 2020 for India's first COVID-19 indigenous vaccine that's been developed by Bharat Biotech.
So you can imagine how the manipulation of the media, by the media, the manipulation of public opinion by leaders from all political parties unanimously saying, we want a vaccine. And the worst thing is they are taken as philanthropists, whereas what this actually is the acquisition of political and financial power. And I think the second most populous country with 1.3 billion people is going to be a good base for pharmaceutical companies to make a killing and also kill a lot of people in the process. Yes, I just find it a pity that we haven't been able to get any benefit for the girls who suffered, you know. It's so terrifying as to what they're actually doing with the world.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
A 2018 scientific study released in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health concluded that over 490,000 children in India developed paralysis as a result of the Gates-supported oral polio vaccine that was administered between the years of 2000 and 2017. Using all the usual sleight of hand, U.S.-based media and fact-checkers rushed to bury the story. But thanks to the meticulous work of a team of Indian researchers and doctors, the inconvenient truth lives on the NIH.gov website.
It's my honor to introduce Bill and Melinda Gates.
Without any medical training, Bill and Melinda Gates founded the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, through which they fulfill their agenda to vaccinate the world. The foundation has been sued by the governments of some of the poorest and most vulnerable nations for causing serious harm through experimental vaccine programs.
If you just look at healthcare workers around the world, they deserve to get the vaccine first. Here in the United States, really, it's going to be Black people who really should get it first, and many indigenous people.
Vaccines were always taught to us that it was safe, it was healthy, this is things that we had to do. But given the position that I am in now as a state legislator, and looking at these studies and reviewing a lot of these studies, it's very scary. And I want the African American community to open up their eyes.
Of all the places that Mr. Gates could have gone in the world, why did he settle on Africa? It's not because he cares about people that look like me. He cares about an agenda.
African bodies have been used as lab rats for many years for Big Pharma.
They are using us for trials, they are using us for testing, but as an African, I say no more.
Africans, they're tired of becoming the guinea pigs of the world. Their antennas are raised and they're telling each other all over social media. They're on high alert right now.
There is a policy of the American government. It's called the Kissinger Report, which was produced in the mid-70s, and it explicitly states that the purpose of the foreign policy in Africa was to reduce the population, because they have great mineral resources there. At the time, Kissinger and those involved with the Carter administration wanted to shrink the population, make sure that the Africans do not develop and do not use the resources for themselves, because we in the States, we need them. There's a concerted effort of foreign powers to control the population of Africa.
Some children did survive the botched vaccinations last month and will recover, but 15, all under the age of 5, died from fever, vomiting, and diarrhea.
Human errors contributed to the unfortunate deaths of the children.
How can you believe Big Pharma but not believe these parents when they tell you that their children have been injured by Big Pharma? I don't care how big this corporate machine looks. As a parent, I can tell you, these people will never stop fighting for their kids.
Bill Gates is either the most misunderstood man alive or one of the most convincing con men to ever live. Is he a benevolent hero or a malevolent opportunist? Personally, I would love to believe that one of the richest men in the world is giving away his fortune for the betterment of humanity. I want to believe that endearing smile. I want to believe that his heart is as soft and warm as his sweaters. At the very least, I want to believe that he's unaware of the damage he's done.
When do you think life will fully return to what we thought of as normal back in January? No masks, no social distancing, no other protective measures necessary.
Certainly by the summer, we'll be way closer to normal than we are now. But even through early 2022, unless we help other countries get rid of this disease and we get high vaccination rates in our country, the risk of reintroduction will be there. And of course, the global economy will be slowed down, which hurts America economically in a pretty dramatic way. So we'll have, starting in the summer, about 9 months where a few things like big public gatherings will still be restricted. But we can see now that somewhere between 12 to 18 months, we have a chance, if we manage it well, to get back to normal. For the world at large, normalcy only returns when we've largely vaccinated the entire global population. And well, this won't be the last pandemic that we face. So we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is, will get attention this time.
So
why the fuck are they smiling?
And like that ominous ass, it'll get attention this time. Like, oh, why? Because it's going to be more deadly. It's going to be more dangerous. Like, I can't stand when I see news people, like I see in a lot of clips of news people like taking this fucking guy serious or something. And it's like, how do you take him serious? Somebody on health, like I get he got a lot of money, but like he never graduated college. He like stole Microsoft from somebody pretty much, you know what I'm saying? He got rich off somebody else's hard work. And like, it's a conundrum to me because he's technically a doctor because he has a couple honorary doctorates from like universities where they ceremonially bring you up and say, oh yeah, here you go, he donated a bunch of money, you got an honorary doctorate now. But he's nobody. So why are we taking health advice? Why are we letting this motherfucker steer the world? Like, I don't understand.
I'm trying not to cry right now, dog, because it's really fucked up what he's doing to people. Like, it's just sit there and smile about it.
For real.
He gets away with it.
And here's
like how many of these news stations does he fund? Does he, you know, like what I mean? He probably funnels money to Buddy, and Buddy funnels it to Buddy, and that other guy funnels it to the news station. Like, I don't, dog, this is
You want
not
to
fair.
see how
These are one of these things that.
this is how deep it goes. You like McDonald's, dog. We done ate McDonald's together how many times in our lives? Now, if you go to McDonald's own a lot, yo, if you go to McDonald's own website, they have a list of their suppliers who they get their things from. Now, their potato supplier is, I'm gonna show this on camera. 100 Circle Farms, right? 100 Circle Farms. You could see this is
Yeah, those genetic modified fries. That's why they're so addictive.
This 100 Circles Farm. This is McDonald's real website. You see right there up at the top. You see the golden arches. Now, if we go and check this out, I brought this up during the video to show you guys because I didn't have it loaded into the program. But look, who owns 100 Circle Farms? The French fries you eat at McDonald's are grown by Mr. Bill Gates. Do you think there's something genetically fucked up with those French fries? Like,
Well, there definitely is. Like, I think it's a. I'm not okay. I'm not 100% sure here. So you guys do your own research. Something along the lines of them are either genetically modified or they're a rare potato or something like that. And it's even the potatoes even made to be long in the shape. So when they're cut into fries, they're those long fries that you're used to seeing. It builds an aesthetic. They do have something in them where I'm not gonna lie. I'll sit down and I eat like 7 or 8 packs of those fries.
And it makes me think, dog.
Bro.
It makes me think because for the longest time, bro, McDonald's been my shit because it's cheap, right? And I don't like to eat a lot at home sometimes. It's just more convenient for me to stop at McDonald's. And they got in the app, when you order in the app, you put the deal, as long as you spend $1 or more, you get a free any size fries. Yeah, but any size. It could be large, small, medium. So now knowing that he, and it's like, so why do you want to give so much free fries out? Like, why do you want people because I guarantee you there's mad people like me that every single time they go to McDonald's, if I'm going to get the #1 large, I'm going to throw that deal on there and get the second fry because a lot of times I eat that burger and them fries and they just barely fill me. And I'm still looking for
some straight bread.
Huh?
Those burgers are straight bread. The only burger that's meat that I feel like it fills me up is that quarter pounder, the double quarter pounder.
Well, that's honestly what I like about the Big Mac is that the meat is small, no homo. But I be fucking saying the most fucked up shit. There's another clip of me looking like an asshole for TikTok, but hey, I like the meat small, no homo. Because I don't know, I just like it. Like if you go to Freddy's, dog, Freddy's is so fire because the burgers are so thin. Like I like the thin
Nobody
burgers.
here in Miami knows about that. People in Miami don't know, but we don't have we just started getting those smash burgers, but it ain't Freddy's.
Dog, it ain't
Freddy's,
dog. There ain't nothing like Freddy's, bro. Listen, people that ain't never been to Colorado or spent a little time in Colorado or maybe this area, I can't say Colorado for the Freddy's because that's in a couple other places. But Scoop Chinese, motherfuckers don't know about Scoop Chinese. But
bro, that's a lifesaver.
That's a lifesaver, dog. And but still, even that shit is like, oh man, everything that's cheap is so bad for you, son. It's so fucking bad for you. Everything that will fill you for a couple days
that's affordable
off not that much bread is like caca, son. Caca of the highest order.
Do you know that the bread, let's say the bread you buy, a fucking loaf of bread that you buy, that bread is so processed that's the reason it lasted so long, because if I made you a fresh loaf, it's about to last 2 days.
Yeah.
It's just everything is so processed.
But if you get McDonald's bread, dog, you could leave that shit out for 5 years and it's not gonna go bad, bro.
There's that one dude. The one dude has the Big Mac from, or a cheeseburger in a Big Mac container from like the 80s or
Yeah, that shit
something.
looked like it just got made last week.
Even the fries
Yo,
are like,
imagine,
the fries taste exactly the same. Right, I don't get skinny, but they're the same
Doug,
fries.
imagine that shit from the 80s looks like that now. Imagine what a burger from today is gonna look like in fucking, yo, bro, when humans are all dead and gone, bro, when humans are all dead and gone, and the next one on Earth, they're gonna be digging and shit, and all of our buildings are gonna be crumbled into ash, and there's gonna be no trace of them. All of our books are gonna be gone, no trace, everything, no trace, just swallowed by the earth. But they're gonna be digging out Big Macs. Like, what the fuck are these things?
Yo, two things that can survive the nukes: cockroaches and the
Burger stock. Cockroaches and McDonald's, and it really makes me reconsider.
Well, the whole what is it? Twinkies too.
Twinkies, oh yeah, Twinkies have survived the fucking nukes and shit. But hey, that was a great best medicine. You know, it was. Look at me. That was a great Kush and Conspiracy. But we're gonna get into our 48 Laws segment now. I know it's been a little dark, it's been a little depressing, a little dreary. Now we're gonna learn a little bit. You ready, dog?
I'm ready. I need something positive right now.
All right, come on, let's go. All right, dog, let's get into Law 2 of the 48 Laws of Power. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right,
ready.
so we
Let's
got
go.
it up
Positivity.
here. We got it up here. We showed this last week, so we're going to show this again. We're at number 2 right now. Right now, number 2 says, don't trust friends, use enemies. The actual law is a little longer than that, but you know, we're going to get into it. Okay, so we got Law 2. You ready for this video?
Ready, let's go.
So, I just want to pause this and bring this back and shout out these guys because they are amazing. Illucertus.com. This is where the people that are producing these videos we're getting for our series. I want everybody to take note of that, you know, in case you want to jump ahead and maybe watch ahead. I know when I was in school, sometimes if the subject interests me, you know, as soon as we started learning about it in the history book or whatever, I fucking read through when I got home at night and knew everything about that shit, if it interested me. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, and let's go.
The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Law number 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Problem about working with friends is that it confuses the boundaries and distances that working requires. If both partners in the arrangement understand the dangers involved, a friend can often be employed to great effect. You must never let your guard down in such a venture, however. Always be on the lookout for any signs of emotional disturbance, such as envy and ingratitude. Nothing is stable in the realm of power, and even the closest of friends can be transformed into the worst of enemies. In order to fully understand, let's take a look at history and learn from others' mistakes. The law has been observed with Michael of the Byzantine Empire and his friend Basilius. In the mid-9th century AD, Michael had placed too much trust in his friend Basilius. They had met a few years before when Michael had been visiting the stables just as a wild horse got loose. Basilius saved Michael's life. His strength and courage had impressed Michael, who immediately raised Basilius from the obscurity of being a horse trainer to the position of head of stables. He loaded his friend with gifts and favors until they became inseparable. Michael turned the peasant Basilius into a sophisticated and educated courtier who later on became greedy for more wealth and power and had his former benefactor and best friend Michael murdered. Michael Tree staked his future on the sense of gratitude he thought Basilius must feel for him. He had created a monster. He had allowed a man to see power up close. A man who then wanted more, who asked for anything and got it, who felt encumbered by the charity he had received and simply did what many people do in such a situation. They forget the favors they've received and imagine they have earned their success by their own merits. Another example is the Song dynasty, who ruled China for 300 years. But how? I destroy my enemies when I make them my friends. Abraham Lincoln. For several centuries after the fall of the Han dynasty, 8222, Chinese history followed the same pattern of violent and bloody coups one after the other. Army men would plot to kill a weak emperor, then would replace him on the dragon throne with a strong general. The general would start a new dynasty and crown himself emperor. To ensure his own survival, he would kill off his fellow generals. A few years later, however, the pattern would resume. New generals would arise and assassinate him or his sons in their turn. To be emperor of China was to be alone, surrounded by a pack of enemies. It was the least powerful, least secure position in the realm. In AD 959, General Cao Guangjin, I hope I'm saying this right, became Emperor Song. Emperor Song knew that his friends in the army would chew him up like meat, and if he somehow survived, his friends in the government would have him for supper. Emperor Song persuaded his generals to retire to a life of nobility and give up their dreams of grabbing his throne one day. He spared those who conspired against him and was able to win over enemies with his generosity. Song was finally able to break the pattern of coups, violence, and civil war. So, what can we learn from these historical events? Here are the lessons for working with friends and enemies. Friends will not openly disagree with you in order to avoid arguments. Enemies, on the other hand, expect nothing, so they will be surprised when you are generous. An enemy spared the guillotine will be more grateful to you than a friend. When you decide to hire a friend, you will discover qualities they have kept hidden. Be on the lookout for any signs of emotional disturbance such as envy and ingratitude. Skill and competence are more important than friendly feelings. Hiring friends will limit your power. All working situations require a kind of distance between people. You destroy an enemy when you make him a friend. An enemy at your heels keeps you sharp, alert, and focused. That's quite a long list to consider. Have you ever experienced anything alike? Please let us know, and thanks for watching.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful. It's very good information. It's very. It made me think of situations in my life a lot. And I shout out to Illucertis again. They are great. They are great. Like I started to try to understand how it fit into our situation with this, but it doesn't really, because what the law is saying is, like, when you put your friend into a position below you, you know what I'm saying, when you hire your friend, right? But we're more co-owners of this, and a good thing that we go against that counteracts the law is the fact that we openly disagree with each other, and we got no problem with that, and we'll talk it out, and we'll because, hey guys, you don't see some shit, but we get into some heated, hot arguments, right? We get hot sometimes, but at the end of the day, we talk it out.
Yeah, but that's any relationship. Openness is and communication
Exactly.
is one of the ways to mend the issues that you have. Because the second you start hiding things, you're gonna find reasons to hide more.
Exactly.
It builds resentment. It turns into hate.
Exactly. So basically,
so this is a law that I definitely, I definitely have kind of played it. What does throw me off is making my enemy my friend. That is a tough one. That's a tough one to swallow. I tend to, when I notice you're an enemy, I will be cordial with you.
Yes.
I have no issues with sitting next to you and talking to you like a normal human being, because at the moment, if you're not giving me crap, you don't deserve crap, even if I don't like you, especially if it's at work or something. But that being my friend requires some lying, and that's one of those things where I am very straightforward. I do not like lying. I'd rather I'd rather you say fuck you to my face than say it behind my back, because at least then I know.
Yes. And it applies to the kitchen so much, to the point where, when I have run kitchens and I have a job that I need done and I need it done right, who do you think the best person to give that job to is? Your enemy or your friend? in the workplace. It's your enemy.
The work.
Yeah, it's your enemy because think about it, right? How many times has a manager that you didn't like and that didn't like you, that thought you weren't performing to whatever level, give you some task and you're like, yo, motherfucker, I'm gonna give you no reason to complain. This shit's gonna be perfect, da 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 da, and I'm gonna show you, motherfucker. That's that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you're getting good work out of spite. Like,
I've definitely been used in that way. That's interesting. That's really a good way of looking at that. Wow. Actually, we're learning here. We're learning here. I like this. This is what I.
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
that because I'm a student of these laws, and like in a work setting, when I'm in control of a kitchen, I'm taking note of who I'm friends with and who I'm buddy with, because they're not the most reliable person on my team, because they think and expect that like they can take shortcuts and they can be a little lax, and because
You my dog, bro. Come on, no big deal.
exactly. So if you want that shit done right, you give that shit to the person that hates you most in the kitchen because they got something to prove. You know, unless there's always those people that just don't give a fuck about nothing at all. And they're just.
But that's good too, because now you found out that person's the out.
Yeah, and then they just go out the door real quick. So it's a law that applies really heavily in the workplace, and especially in a workplace setting where you're in control of it. But yeah, so that's the second law, dog. I hope so far. Like, I feel like, have you learned things these past 2 weeks that you can apply to your life?
Yeah, well, because like the first law, I was like, damn, I definitely know that law, and without knowing the law, I've applied that in my life. The second law, I've applied partial parts of it, and now when you explained it, I guess I have applied that part of when I give crap. Yeah, I'll give it to somebody who doesn't like me. Yeah, because it's they wanna fuck, hey, fuck you, motherfucker.
They got something to prove to you.
Oh, perfect.
Exactly. They got something to prove. So, hey, that cuts it for our last part of the show. We're gonna talk about some things real quick, and then we're gonna go into our last words with Dr. Jordan Peterson. But so we're gonna be introducing next week somebody we've hired for the show. It's somebody I came across in my travels on the way home. I'm not going to give too much information because I'm actually scared about it, but I was going by DIA and just some shit with somebody I seen that didn't look normal. I picked them up. They had a crazy story about crash landing on Earth in the 80s, and they've been fucking under government control ever since. I don't know. Her name's Christina. That's all I'm going to talk about. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give any more information than that because I'm going to let her speak for herself next episode. We're going to introduce her, and she's going to be an integral part of this podcast. You've met Christina, right? She's great, huh?
Yeah, I love Christina. She's definitely a
yeah,
character.
She's dope.
I think people are going to like her.
Yes, people are going to love her.
She asks the hard-hitting questions.
Yes,
and she's not scared
she
of
is our generation's Joan Rivers. I'm telling you, that's the pedestal putting her on is our generation's Joan Rivers, 100%. So, hey, that wraps it up for this episode. It's been a great one. You know, as always, anywhere you need to find us, at Malice the Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, fucking your mom's house. It don't matter. If it's there, we're there, and we're going to be doing our thing from morning to night. And if you see some fucking drawers in your mom's hamper that you don't recognize, it's probably Pablo's. I don't know.
Sorry, bro. Sorry. Just something about moms. I don't know. This is the nerd thing.
It just is what it is. So we're going to get into our last words. First, how'd you enjoy the episode, dog? Did you like it?
Oh, man. This was nice. This was fun, especially the fact that we had a little, time crunch here. I think we did really good. I hope you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe, all the Nothing but good wishes to you guys, and the last word is going to be the most beautiful thing today.
Yes, it is going to be the most beautiful thing today. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all so fucking much. It's been
so
great.
Because people have commented on every verse in the Bible, like to a degree that's almost unimaginable. So you can look and see all the interpretations and all the translations and get some sense of what the genuine meaning might be. And the line, "the meek shall inherit the earth," meek is not a good translation, or the word has moved in the 300 years or so since it was translated. What it means is this: those who have swords and know how to use them, but keep them sheathed, will inherit the world. And that's another thing I've been telling. Yeah, no kidding. That's a lot different, man. That's a big difference. It's so great. And so, like, one of the things I tell young men, well, and young women as well, but the young men really need to hear this more, I think, is that you should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
Do you know the expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war?
Right, exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. And so when I tell young men that, they think, well, lots of them are competitive. They're low in agreeableness, you know, because that's part of being competitive temperamentally. It's like, is there something wrong with being competitive? There's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with cheating. There's something wrong with being a tyrant. There's something wrong with winning unfairly. All of those things are bad. But you don't want people to win? What's the difference between trying to win and striving? You want to eradicate striving?
Well, it's the